Just need our little YouTube tagline. Oh my goodness, we have two more. Where is it? I love it. This is the best.
We have our YouTube.
Everyone got the first comment on live stream of we're incredibly excited. We have a large group of board members here in person, which is incredibly exciting. Everyone's getting themselves a few snacks, thanks to Kiana, and we're gonna get started with the business portion of our meeting. I do not believe we have any public comment on deck. No one in the audience for public comment. We do have one.
Hi, quick question. So I wanted to know when the 2023 annual report and financial audit would be released.
We'll put that to our URA partners.
That's a great question. It is in final review currently. We plan to have it released publicly, I believe, by the beginning of August.
Thank you. Sorry, we usually have folks identify themselves and I
yes,
just
of
skipped
course.
right over that.
Hi, I'm Abigail Hakis. I'm a reporter with Next Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh Independent. I'm doing a story on affordable housing in Pittsburgh, which brought me here.
Okay, great. Thank you for joining us. We're gonna go to the roll call. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't have the rule memorized, so I am going to need to have the slide. Lena Andrews, Executive Director of Action Housing. Not until October.
But yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Tanika Harris. Do not think that they got online from their conference, so I think we are missing them today. Karen Garrett,
Is here not?
Ellie Fisher. Councilwoman Deb Gross, do not believe is online. Jerome Jackson representing the North Side.
Here.
Deidre Washington. Marcus Reed. Dr. Paul Spradley. Signify by whooping and doing the wave. Alan Cisco.
I'm here.
James Reed.
I'm here.
Adrian Wanaha, present. Kelly Ware. Present. That is our full list, and this is the highest level of attendance we have had in over a year. So thank you to everyone for being present, especially for being present in person. It is wonderful to see you, and I love the energy that it brings when we're together. And so we do have some business to do. Are we online?
I'll take it away. Yep, so this is the item I'm presenting on. My name is Nicholas Person. I am a lending analyst in the residential lending department, and today I'm in front of the HOF Advisory Board requesting authorization to amend a $245,000 grant agreement with Hazelwood Initiative, more specifically reducing $145,000 of home fiscal year 2021 funds in the grant and substituting it for $145,000 of HOF fiscal year 2023 funds. These funds are to be used towards the new construction of 3 single-family houses in Hazelwood, which are to be sold to households with incomes less than or equal to 80% of AMI. The developer Hazelwood Initiative began construction in December of last year, and around May and June, they're pretty much near construction completion, are in the process of receiving their certificate of occupancy. And while we have a grant committed with them, we have not executed it yet. And we are not able to do so because, as it turns out, Hazelwood Initiative was not remaining compliant with Section 3 requirements. And per HUD guidelines, if there's federal funding in the deal that is $200,000 or more, the developer must remain compliant with Section 3. And we were going to set aside $245,000 home funds in this grant, so we just can't do it. But we're still committed and interested in financially supporting what we see to be a really good affordable housing development. And so our proposal for this board is for authorization and approval to reduce 145,000 of home fiscal year 2021 funds down to zero. And substituting and increasing by, or filling that gap with 145,000 of home fiscal year 2023 funds. And that's really it. Thank you all for listening. I will now open the board, or I'll now open it to any questions or comments from the board.
So, just so I'm clear. So you're asking to have two of your grants combined together, or you're dropping one and adding it to another? I'm just trying to be clear about the one grant and then,
Right, so there's only gonna be one grant.
okay,
And to clarify, by the way, there was a discrepancy on the presentation slide there. It should not say 100,000 home fiscal year 2020. It should say 145,000 home fiscal year 2021 funds. We're just, there is no, the 245,000 is going to remain the same amount for the grant, but 145,000 of home funds will be reduced. And the idea is to substitute that with 145,000 of funds.
Can you outline a little bit more about what the compliance issues are?
Yeah, so I think there was either, I think there was a misunderstanding at the time where the developer was not aware that they had to comply with section 3 per the guidelines of the funding that we were being used, that we had set aside. And really what section 3 looks like is meeting minimum thresholds of labor hours reported of either extremely or low income workers that are typically either found in public housing or who live in public housing or in the vicinity of where the development is occurring. And so even though I was told by the developer that there were some local residents that did try and do outreach to try and work for them. In the end, they never followed up with the developer again, and them in partner with their GC, they just did not end up securing a workforce that was both local residents of the community and met the income thresholds.
Did they contact the housing authority, city of Pittsburgh, because they do have a pool of eligible workers that they can, partner with?
As far as I'm aware, I don't think that they contacted the housing authority, but again, I think that was because they were under the impression that they did not have to comply with section 3 with the grant that they were receiving.
Did they meet the DBE requirements?
DBE.
Mhm.
Can you clarify? Oh, MWBE.
Oh, sorry,
That's
I'm just in my own head.
That's a
Yeah, I should emphasize as well that the developer did remain compliant with MWB and MWI requirements. And when we were informed that they had already reached near construction completion, we had asked for evidence of their compliance during that construction phase and have already submitted to our compliance department, and they have approved it.
So let me just make sure that I understand what's going on, because I've heard a lot. So these homes are, construction's done, they're completed. Okay. And we are trying to satisfy our obligation to put $245,000 into the project by substituting one source that would have triggered a lot of compliance issues with a source that does not contain those compliance issues.
That is correct. Sorry. Oh. There's one other thing that I would also like to add, which is that because of the funds getting switched, and that if the board does approve for the substitution of 145,000 of pot funds, the affordability restriction set on these houses, as it currently stood, it was set for 15 years, will now be extended to 99 years. So it'll be much deeper affordability if it is approved.
Do you have families already ready for the homes to move in, already picked, or?
That I do not know. I'd have to contact the answer about that. I would imagine that they're already in contact with potential home buyers.
Do you know the vehicle for the 99 year? Are they gonna put them in the land trust? Look what they put them in.
I don't think they're gonna consider it a trust, but that is part of our restrictive covenant that we get them, that will have to be
So the
executed.
URA is gonna put the 99. Okay, so, all right.
Additional questions or comments related to this proposal?
Sorry, I just want to make sure I understand. So it had HOF money in it already, and we're putting more HOF money in it.
It sounds like it's just new HOF thing, is what it sounds.
Yeah,
like.
new HOP money. So
Okay.
we have, sorry, these numbers are, I can also imagine are also confusing people. So as it currently stands, we had originally decided to set aside 100,000 of home fiscal year 2020 funds
Okay.
and 145,000 of home fiscal year 2021 funds. We're trying to reduce, or we're asking to reduce 145,000 of the home fiscal year 2021 funds
Okay,
and replacing that with HOP funds. The 100,000 of home that you see up there, that would stay, that would not be.
So that didn't have compliance problems, but
Well,
the,
So the section 3 requirements state that, or the section 3 HUD requirements state that if there's more than $200,000 of federal funds going into a deal.
So now we're like, so now it's only 100,000.
That's correct.
and again, 2023 HOF wasn't an award, we would be pulling it out of the 2023 dollars. Correct?
As a new.
Yeah, so it's not,
It's a new.
I think that's also can be confusing because we're in 2024, so when you see 2023, that can be confusing.
This is unallocated 2023 dollars.
It's new to us.
if there are buyers lined up, like 15 years versus 99 years of an affordability restriction is a big change. I just hope that they know.
That is, yeah, and that is something that we've already brought to the attention of the Escalade Initiative. So they already know this.
I don't think they have buyers lined up. I was just talking to Nancy, and they're having a ribbon cutting next week, Friday, for this, and she was like, yeah, advertise now, so. I'm sure they're working with people, but I don't think there's sales agreements. I guess.
Curious, what are the anticipated sales prices?
So you can find those on, if you have the packets with you, find them on, I believe, page 6. Where it shows that all 3 bedrooms would be sold at $205,000. And they're 3-bedroom houses with a total of 1,692 square feet.
Which I think is always difficult to get your brain around when it's affordable housing and then to hear those sale prices, it's difficult. Any other questions, concerns, comments? I believe that the URA probably has a slide for a motion to be made. You know, sometimes it's difficult to put the language around that.
Yeah,
That was it.
Would anyone like to move for the parameters?
Would you like me to say it out loud for the
Record.
video call?
For the record, yeah.
I will. Like to move to authorize an authorization to amend resolution number 283 of 2023 to replace $145,000 of home fiscal year 2021 funding with $145,000 of housing opportunity fund fiscal year 2023 funding for the new construction of Flowers Avenue located at 333, 337, and 341 Flowers Avenue.
Thank you for the motion, Ellie. Do we have a second?
Second,
Second, all those in favor? Oh, all those abstaining. Do we have any conflicts on the table for this particular vote? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And we had no abstentions. Thank you.
And for the minutes purposes, can we just say who, motion, Ally Fisher motion and who second?
James Reed.
Moving on, I'm gonna give a brief update on the annual allocation plan survey. We are at about 550 surveys completed as of yesterday. We're, aiming for around 650. That's what we did last year. We have an email blast coming out next week. The last one got us over 100. And then we have all these events coming up that you are all welcome to take part in if you have any interest. So some farmers markets, senior centers, city in the streets. And that July 27th catapult event is organized by Tanika. So that's gonna be interesting because we also have the Homewood Community Health and Wellness Summit, but should be good stuff. And yeah, just let me know if you're interested in attending any of these, helping out, helping push surveys, or if you want to organize meetings of your own.
And if you haven't done the survey, you can use the QR code. Visit the link. Let's make sure we get the most participation we can. It seems like every year we get clusters of groups that are represented. Some years it's primarily homeowners, some years it's primarily renters. We really want to get that diverse voice. So folks that you touch, we would love across the spectrum of programming. What are folks using? What is beneficial? How is it impacting? So please get it out far and wide.
And just adding on to that, we have some of our preliminary results. So just some stats on what we've gotten so far. So like Adrian was saying, the majority, at least the largest share of respondents have been homeowners, followed by renters. That's about what we expect to see. And then this is the distribution of age, with the largest group being that 25 to 35, followed by 35 to 44, and then with the next largest group being the 65 and older group. And then these are our respondents based on race. So the majority have been white, and then combined with Black and African Americans, that is most of the people that have responded to our survey so far.
Is there any business that needs to be brought in front of the HOF advisory before we adjourn? Hearing none in person or online, thank you for coming. We're now going to close our business meeting.